Hello, my name's Karina Thompson and welcome to another episode in the series Mastering the Basics of mySewnet embroidery software. In this episode I'm going to show you how to use the hoop selection dialog window to choose a specific size hoop for your project. If you're interested in learning more about embroidery software, subscribe or own a copy of mySewnet, why not subscribe to our free YouTube channel, and that way you won't miss out on any of our episodes. I'm on a PC in the free basic level of the software, but what I show you in this film you'll be able to do on any level of the software. The principles will be exactly the same if you're on a Mac computer. So I'm in the opening window of the mySewnet embroidery software. I'm in the basic free version of the software, which only gives me one option, basically to open up a blank canvas. If you've got paid for software, you've probably got other options. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on blank canvas, and straight away the hoop selection dialog box opens, and this is basically kind of saying, right, you're starting a new project, how big might it be? How big is the hoop going to be that you're going to be working in? You'll have the hoop group, the first couple of times you use it will be universal. So if you click on the pull down arrow, you will see that basically most of the embroidery machines that are on the market are listed here. And that's a great way for you to then actually identify the hoops that suit your embroidery machine. Now I actually have an Epic 2, so if I choose that, on the hoop size, the dialog box underneath, there's another pull down arrow, and that's going to list all the hoops that are compatible with my machine. So for instance, I'm going to do a project where I'm going to be using the 360 by 260, the designer imperial hoops. I'm going to check on that. Now just talk about a couple of other things. The orientation. So natural is basically, and you can see from the preview, that's how it's going to appear on my machine. But I prefer to use the rotated version, mainly because it tends to fit in better on my screen. I can zoom in closer, but that's an aspect of personal taste. If you want to, you can actually enter a very specific hoop size, and you might want to do that. Let's say you're working on a very big project and that you're then going to use the split project wizard to split the project later. You might want to do that then. But particularly if you're a beginner, I would strongly recommend that you choose the hoops that you know that you've got. Now going back up to here, I don't know if you've noticed there's a checkbox here that says included in my hoops, and in this case I'm going to check that, and now I'm going to click OK. And straight away you can see that that has changed my screen, so I've got my hoop in here. That large hoop that I know is compatible with my machine. Now what I also want to do is, let's say you're in the middle of the project and you actually want to change your hoop. How do you do that? Let me show you. You have two options. Up here I'm on the home tab, there's this button here that says change hoop, or there's actually a shortcut up here right at the top that will always be there that you can click. So in this case I'm going to click that, and here's the hoop selection box. Now the reason I wanted to show you about this included in my hoops is if I go to the pull down arrow, and instead of going down actually go up above universal, I've got my hoops, and if I click on that you can see these are the options for an Epic that I've actually loaded these up. So it might be that you want to actually add any hoops that you've got, the hoops that come with your machine, or maybe you've bought some additional accessory hoops in there, and that way you can just find them much more quickly. I just want to cancel this because I want to talk about the appearance of the hoop in the software. Now if I go to view, in actual fact You can see over here it's saying show grid, so if I wanted to I could actually turn the grid off. I'm going to put that back on, and if I wanted to I could actually change the size of my grid. So for instance, I've set this at 20 mil, so each one of these squares here is essentially 2 centimeters. If of course you're thinking, well actually Karina, I don't want metric, you can actually go File and go to Configure and change the unit to inches. So my golden rules of using hoops is to try and use a hoop that you'll be using actually on your project. Some people say that you should use the smallest hoop possible because you'll save on stabilizer. I quite like having a little bit of extra space in my hoop in case I need to move my design within my hoop. It's easier to do that if you've got that little bit of extra space. If you found this a useful film, please like us and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so we can help you master the basics of mySewnet. Happy sewing!